My name's Jane Holdsworth. I'm Director of the European Hydration Institute, and I'm delighted to welcome you here today in this fantastic venue so rich in scientific history. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the Institute before we resume our scientific programme, explain a little bit about what we do, and also introduce to you our Grants Award scheme, which has just opened. As Ron said, the European Hydration Institute is a foundation. It's been established to focus on human hydration, so on all aspects of human hydration, looking to advance science and increase knowledge. And the vision we set ourselves when we set out was to try and become a one-stop shop for human hydration, science, knowledge and information. Before I explain a little bit about what we do and how the grants programme works, I'd just like to identify why we came to be. The foundation has been established for around about 18 months now. And really where it came from was some research that we did in advance of setting up with a whole range of different people, be they nutritionists, journalists, scientists and others. They all told us that hydration was almost a forgotten area. Almost without doubt, people told you that it was important, it was essential for life. I don't think anyone would ever dispute that. But they told us that there was a lot of lack of focus on it, really, simply because people do almost take it for granted. And that, at times, resulted in a lack of scientific knowledge, which then resulted in some misinformation at times, and in their view they told us that many consumers were actually quite confused and had a lot of misinformation about what they should do. And certainly in Ron's talk this morning, and he illustrated some very good examples of that type of misinformation that exists. So the Institute was established to really try and fill that gap, to focus on hydration and make it our real point of interest. But one of the things that we set ourselves right at the beginning, and almost our unique property, was that everything that we did had to be rooted in science. And where the Institute has come from is starting off with a group of scientists who've come together to establish what the current thinking is around hydration and what is supported by science, and then to ensure that all the messaging that comes out through the Institute is again rigorously checked by our Science Advisory Board and is also rooted in science. And that's one of our real founding principles. The structure of the Institute, it's an independent entity in its own right. It has a board of trustees. It has myself acting as director, supported by a small secretariat. The Science Advisory Board, some of whom you've met today, are really our powerhouse of information and check everything that comes out from the Institute. And we're also very grateful to those partners who help to support us. And we have 4 founding partners who helped to get the Institute off the ground. You can see them on the slides there. The Nutrition Research Foundation from Spain, the Nutrition Foundation of Italy, the University of Las Palmas, and our commercial sponsor, the Coca-Cola company. We've also looked to develop partnerships with others, and across the last year we've done activities with a whole raft of different organisations, including the Agricultural University of Athens, the British Nutrition Foundation, the European Nutrition for Health Alliance, the University of Nottingham in the UK. And we're increasingly looking for others who want to work with us to further knowledge in the area of hydration, or simply to ensure that we can hold events like this, which explain to people a bit more about hydration and bring together those who want to focus on this important area. As I said, the mission of the foundation is to advance knowledge and understanding of all matters relating to human hydration and its effects on health, wellness and performance. We see our work really on 2 sides. On the first side, it's really about trying to advance science. We've had some excellent scientific presentations this morning, and with our Science Advisory Board, we look to identify areas where further research is needed, and with the funds that we can attract, we are already starting to put our money behind a number of studies. We also offer student grants, and I'm going to come on to those in a minute and talk a little bit about the Grants Award scheme from last year and the call for this year. And we also look to do sociological research as well, because it's one thing to understand the science behind the physiology and the mechanisms, but it's also important to understand what people do and what motivates to do those things as well. And we have a real interest in trying to get underneath that too. The other side of our activities focus on sharing knowledge, and the EHI, as I hope most of you know, has a website which is our repository for most of the information that we have on hydration. It's very easily accessible. There's an ability to register on that site, which means that if you do, you become part of our network, and we update you on new publications that come out, publications that we create, our newsletter, etc. And we've also held a number of activities like this over the last year, be they symposia in association with others like the British Nutrition Foundation, where we've tried to bring the focus onto hydration. And at those venues, we've also shared quite a lot of publications and materials that have all been created with the input of the Science Advisory Board. So I think that's probably enough background about the Institute. If you're interested in working with us, or if your organisation has an opportunity to work with us, we'd love to talk to you. We're very open to partnerships. It's not a closed shop of those who are just involved at this stage. We're interested in everybody. I wanted for the last few minutes really to talk about the Grants Award scheme. We opened this last year, and it's a graduate award scheme which we established. It was the idea of the Science Advisory Board, and the purpose of establishing it was really to try and get a hydration element into more scientific projects. So we decided last year to start to offer grants to graduate students of €5,000 each, which would allow them to either support a standalone piece of research or to add a hydration element to an existing study that they had underway. And our first call went out last year. We were delighted with the applications that we had from that, and they resulted in 7 awards that were granted from the Science Advisory Board. The names of those who received them are up there. You'll see that we have awards across 3 different countries, so people in the UK, Spain and Greece. And the subject matters varied quite considerably. There were quite a lot of applications around exercise. 4 of the grants were granted around exercise, 2 relating to pregnancy and 1 relating to stroke. And after I've spoken, I'm pleased that we have 3 of the grant supervisors here who will present some of the findings from that research. So this year we've opened another call. The application window from it is 4th of October through to the 1st of December. We're once again offering 8 grants of €5,000 each. And the eligibility is that you simply have to be a graduate student registered at an EU higher education institution in biological, social, nutritional or clinical medicine studies on the 1st of October 2011. And we also ask that the graduates are registered on our website in order to be able to apply. You have one of the flyers in the little bags that we've given you. So if you feel that that's something that you know someone who would like to apply, or if you indeed yourself have an interest in applying, then please do so. The applications will be reviewed by our Science Advisory Board when it meets in January, and their final decision will be taken at that meeting, which is towards the end of January. And you can see there the 6 members of the Science Advisory Board who will make the decision on who those are granted to. So we hope to have lots of applications this year. Please do share the call with others that you know and encourage them to apply. And lastly, I'd just like to say something about this network. We're really passionate about trying to put together a strong network of those who have a genuine interest in hydration. I really encourage you to register on the website. It's really easy to do. It allows you to become part of our network. You'll continue to be eligible to come to meetings like this if you do so, and we'll also make sure that we keep you up to date with regular updates on new papers that have been published on hydration and new activity in that area. And we hope that we'll see many of you again at future meetings. So